Never ignore your pennies. Some Lincoln cents from 1982, 1995, 2000, and 2006 are worth way more than 1 cent. From double-die errors to rare small-date and modern varieties, these coins have shocked collectors with values in the hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Check your change. You might be holding a hidden treasure. In 1982, the United States Mint made a change that would unknowingly set the stage for one of the most fascinating stories in modern coinage. For decades, the Lincoln cent had been struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, a small but sturdy coin that people rarely thought twice about. But in 1982, faced with rising copper prices that made the cost of producing each penny exceed its face value, the Mint made a monumental decision. That year, the Lincoln cent transitioned from copper to a new composition of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, dramatically reducing production costs. On the surface, this might have seemed like a straightforward switch, but the transition created one of the most intriguing sets of variations and errors in U.S. coin history. Out of that year came coins so rare that if one surfaces in pristine condition today, it can command staggering sums of money, ranging anywhere from $52,000 to $125,500. The year 1982 is unique in American numismatics because it produced an unusual number of variations. Not only were cents struck in both copper and zinc, but there were also large-date and small-date varieties minted at both Philadelphia and Denver. Collectors quickly realized there were multiple distinct versions of the 1982 penny, making the year a playground for anyone fascinated by die varieties and minting quirks. But what makes this year even more thrilling is the discovery of error coins, those rare pieces that slipped through with mistakes that no one at the Mint intended. These error coins, tied to the pivotal transition year of 1982, are among the most desirable Lincoln cents ever struck. One of the most famous and valuable of these is the 1982 D small-date copper penny. For years, it was believed that Denver only produced small-date cents in zinc, while copper was reserved for other variations. Yet somehow, a few 1982 D small-date copper cents made it into circulation. This was not supposed to happen, but it did, and the result is one of the holy grails of modern U.S. coinage. Experts believe only a handful exist, and their rarity has made them legendary. When authenticated and graded in top condition, this coin has been known to reach values that climb into that incredible range of $52,000 to $125,500. For a coin that began life as a single cent meant to buy candy or sit forgotten in a piggy bank, such a transformation in value is almost hard to believe. The difference between copper and zinc coins may not be immediately obvious to the naked eye, but collectors use a simple test to identify them. A copper cent weighs about 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs only 2.5 grams. That difference of just over half a gram has turned countless kitchen scales and coin balances into treasure-hunting tools. The thrill of weighing a 1982 penny and discovering it tips the scale toward copper when it should not is something that has electrified the coin collecting community. For those who have found one of these transitional errors, the excitement is beyond words. Beyond the copper versus zinc transition, other types of errors from 1982 add to the allure. Double die errors, for example, have been reported on some cents from that year. These errors occur when the coin's die is impressed more than once at slightly different angles, leading to visible doubling in the letters or numbers. On a 1982 cent, such doubling is immediately striking, and collectors are eager to pay premium prices for strong examples. Off-center strikes are another dramatic type of error. These occur when the blank planchet is not seated correctly in the press, causing the design to be stamped off to one side. Some 1982 pennies show this effect boldly, with portions of the coin left blank and the rest bearing a shifted image. If the date remains visible in such an error, the coin can skyrocket in desirability. In pristine condition, off-center 1982 errors are treasures in their own right, fetching impressive sums at auction. Clipped planchets are yet another variety of error that surfaced during this transitional year. When the blanks were punched from metal sheets, occasionally overlapping strikes would leave behind incomplete planchets. The resulting coins have crescent-shaped clips or missing edges. While dramatic clips are generally rarer, even smaller clips on a 1982 penny can add significant value. There are also broad strikes and multiple strikes that occasionally emerge, where the coin either spreads beyond its normal boundaries or receives more than one strike from the dies. These coins often appear distorted, with overlapping designs or unusual stretching. Collectors love these oddities because they stand out so clearly from the sea of ordinary coins. What makes the 1982 penny errors and varieties so thrilling is not just their rarity, but their accessibility. Millions upon millions of pennies from that year were produced, and they circulated heavily. Even today, rolls of pennies pulled from circulation may still contain examples from 1982. For collectors and even casual hobbyists, the idea that a coin worth over $50,000 could still be hiding in a jar of loose change at home is irresistible. It fuels the hunt and keeps people searching. Stories abound of collectors who discovered a rare 1982 cent purely by accident. Someone sorting coins to deposit at the bank may notice a penny that looks slightly different, weigh it, and suddenly realize they're holding a treasure. Others find them in inherited collections, where a relative may have saved coins without knowing their true value. Every discovery adds to the mystique of this remarkable year and the errors it produced. Auction records have only heightened interest. When a verified 1982 D small date copper cent crossed the block, it made headlines in the numismatic community for its stunning price realized. That moment cemented the coin's status as one of the most desirable modern U.S. rarities. Collectors who dream of owning one know they will have to battle fiercely at auction, and when bidding begins, it is not unusual for prices to quickly climb into the range of $52,000 to $125,500. Condition plays an enormous role in determining value. A coin found in circulation with wear may still command a significant premium, but examples that survived in near-perfect condition are the true stars. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated and graded these rare coins, giving buyers the confidence that they are acquiring a genuine treasure. The sight of a high-grade 1982 D small date copper penny encapsulated in a protective holder, labeled with its rarity and grade, is enough to set collectors' hearts racing. The broader context of 1982 in American history adds another layer to the story. The early 1980s were a time of economic change, inflation, and shifting markets. The decision to alter the composition of the cent was directly tied to these economic pressures. In that sense, every 1982 penny tells a story not just of minting quirks, but of a nation adapting to new realities. The errors from that year, therefore, are not just collectible curiosities. They are pieces of living history, physical reminders of the choices made during a pivotal moment in time. What is most remarkable about the 1982 penny errors is the way they blur the line between ordinary and extraordinary. For most people, a penny is insignificant, often ignored or left behind. Yet in the case of these rare errors, a single cent can rival the value of luxury jewelry, sports cars, or even property. This contrast between face value and collector value captures the imagination and serves as a powerful reminder that hidden treasures sometimes exist in the most unassuming forms. For anyone listening now, the lesson is clear. Never overlook the coins in your possession. That 1982 penny at the bottom of a drawer, sitting unnoticed in a coin jar, or nestled among countless others in a bank roll, could be one of the rare transitional errors worth a fortune. With values ranging from $52,000 to $125,500, finding one could be a life-changing event. The thrill of the hunt, the historical significance, and the sheer beauty of minting mistakes make the 1982 1-cent error coins some of the most captivating in all of numismatics. They remind us that perfection is not always what collectors seek. Instead, it is the imperfections, the anomalies, and the rare accidents that often hold the greatest value. So as collectors and enthusiasts continue their search, the 1982 penny stands as a symbol of possibility. It proves that treasures still lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for the careful eye, the curious mind, or the lucky hand to uncover them. And for those who do, the reward can be more than just financial. It is the thrill of discovery, the joy of history, and the wonder of holding a tiny piece of metal that defied the odds to become something extraordinary. The 1995 US 1-cent penny is one of those coins that, at first glance, appears to be nothing special. It's tiny, it's copper-plated zinc, and it's a coin most people have held hundreds, if not thousands of times without ever thinking twice about it. But for coin collectors and sharp-eyed treasure hunters, the 1995 penny hides one of the most intriguing modern US coin errors. What sets it apart is a remarkable doubling that forever changed how collectors look at this ordinary cent. And it is this very error that has taken coins meant for everyday use and turned them into prized collectibles that can sell for jaw-dropping amounts, sometimes ranging between $44,000 and an incredible $116,500 depending on condition and rarity. To understand why the 1995 penny became so important, it helps to look at the context of the U.S. Mint during the 1990s. By that time, the penny had already undergone a huge transformation. Since 1982, the composition of the 1-cent coin had shifted from primarily copper to copper-plated zinc, a move made to save costs as copper prices rose. The Lincoln cent design, however, remained the same. Abraham Lincoln's bust still adorned the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial still appeared on the reverse. Millions upon millions of these pennies were struck each year, flooding into circulation. In fact, in 1995 alone, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents across the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. With such enormous production numbers, the margin for error grew, and from those massive runs came one of the most celebrated double-die obverse errors in modern coin history. The double-die obverse, commonly referred to as the 1995 double-die penny, is a result of a flaw in the die-making process. When a working die receives more than one impression from the hub, slight misalignments between impressions can result in doubling. On the 1995 penny, this doubling is most prominently seen on the obverse, particularly in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The letters appear with a shadow-like doubling effect that is visible even without magnification, making it one of the easiest double dies for the average person to spot. This accessibility is part of what made the coin so famous. Unlike more subtle double dies that require close inspection, the 1995 double die penny stands out, catching the eye even of casual observers. What's even more fascinating is the story of how these pennies were discovered. Not long after the coins were released into circulation, collectors and even everyday spenders began noticing the strange doubled features. Word spread quickly through coin magazines, newspapers, and eventually mainstream media. Suddenly, everyone wanted to check their pocket change. The hunt was on. Banks saw surges of people requesting rolls of pennies, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, copper-plated zinc. Stories circulated about people finding these coins in change at grocery stores or in their kids' piggy banks. For many, the discovery of a 1995 double die penny marked their introduction into coin collecting. But not all double dies are created equal, and this is where rarity and condition play their part in determining value. While the 1995 double die penny is considered one of the more common major double dies, it is still rare enough to capture significant attention, especially in high grades. Circulated examples might sell for modest sums, but uncirculated, mint-state coins with strong strikes and clean surfaces are where the true magic happens. In the upper echelons of condition, coins graded MS-67 or higher, the value can skyrocket. Auction houses have recorded astonishing sales of these coins, sometimes between $44,000 and $116,500. That kind of price for a 1-cent coin originally minted by the billions is enough to make anyone think twice before ignoring pocket change. Part of what drives such high values is the fact that these errors represent a perfect storm of visibility, accessibility, and historical significance. Unlike obscure varieties that only specialists know about, the 1995 double die penny became a household name in the world of numismatics. It was featured in collector guides, highlighted in news outlets, and even used as an educational example of minting errors. New collectors flocked to coin shows and dealers, searching for the elusive penny. Experienced collectors recognized its place as one of the most important modern errors, ensuring demand remained strong. And auction houses saw how the buzz translated into competitive bidding. For anyone who has ever wondered how a coin valued at 1 cent can jump into the 5 or even 6-figure range, the 1995 penny provides the perfect case study. It's a reminder that condition is everything in numismatics. A coin that circulated heavily, bouncing around in pockets and cash registers, will never achieve the same value as a pristine example pulled straight from a fresh roll. Collectors are constantly looking for the finest known specimens, and when one of those comes to market, the competition becomes fierce. That's where prices soar to $44,000, $85,000, or even as high as $116,500 beyond the thrill of value. the 1995 penny error has also created countless personal stories of discovery. There are tales of kids finding them in allowance money, of retirees sifting through jars of change just for the fun of it, and of serious collectors buying and selling them as investments. Each coin carries not only its doubling but also a story of how it survived, unnoticed, among billions of its ordinary counterparts until someone sharp-eyed spotted its uniqueness. It's important to note, though, that the popularity of this coin also brought a wave of counterfeits and fakes into the market. Some people attempted to artificially create the appearance of doubling through mechanical or post-mint damage. These types of alterations, often referred to as machine doubling, lack the crisp and true doubling seen in genuine double dies. For collectors, and especially for those chasing the upper value range, certification is essential. Trusted grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated thousands of these coins, providing assurance of authenticity and assigning grades that directly influence market value. A certified MS67 double die penny from 1995 is a treasure in the truest sense, with the potential to reach the six-figure mark. What makes the 1995 double die penny even more captivating is how it bridges the gap between the ordinary and extraordinary. Unlike ancient coins or gold rarities that were rare from the start, this coin was meant to be common, an everyday tool of commerce. Yet, through an error in the die-making process, it became extraordinary. It reminds us that hidden treasures can exist in the most mundane of places, and that sometimes the most valuable discoveries are those that were never intended. For seasoned collectors, the coin represents a modern classic. For newcomers, it offers a gateway into the hobby, something tangible and exciting that sparks curiosity about other coins and errors. For investors, it represents a rare opportunity to hold something that combines historical significance, rarity, and consistent demand. And for everyday people, it represents the possibility that the next great discovery could be sitting unnoticed in their change jar. The fascination with the 1995 penny error also underscores a larger truth about coin collecting. It's not just about metal, design, or age. It's about stories, surprises, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin has a story, but some stories, like the 1995 double die, capture the imagination in a way that transforms a simple cent into an object of national interest. And when that story is tied to values as high as $44,000 to $116,500, it becomes all the more compelling. So the next time you come across a penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look at the lettering, check for doubling, and remember the story of the 1995 penny. It stands as proof that extraordinary value can be hidden in the ordinary, and that even a 1-cent piece, when touched by error and rarity, can become a national treasure. Somewhere out there, in change jars, coin rolls, and forgotten drawers, these pennies are still waiting to be discovered, carrying within them the potential to change someone's life. The penny is the coin most people take for granted. The small, lightweight, and so common that many don't even bother picking one up off the ground. Yet among the billions of pennies that have been minted, some stand out in ways that transform them from everyday currency into highly prized collectibles. One such coin is the 2000 US 1-cent penny error. At first glance, it might seem like just another Lincoln cent, but under closer inspection, it tells a story of rarity, imperfection, and value. What makes this particular coin so fascinating is that while it was intended to be worth only a single cent, certain error varieties from the year 2000 have been known to sell for astonishing sums, ranging anywhere between $40,000 and $105,000. That's an incredible leap from pocket change to a life-changing windfall. To appreciate why the 2000 penny error is so special, we have to start with the coin itself. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency since it was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 2000, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design had already been in use for over 40 years, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the famous Washington, D.C. monument on the reverse. Billions were struck each year, making the penny one of the most mass-produced coins in history. With that scale of production, the minting process had to run like a well-oiled machine. But even the most precise machines aren't immune to errors, and when errors occur, they can sometimes produce coins unlike any others. The year 2000 saw several interesting error varieties, and these are what drive collectors wild. One of the most famous is the wide AM error, where the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse is noticeably wider than usual. This may seem like a small detail, but it's one that can turn an ordinary penny into something highly collectible. Other errors from that year include off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing. Double dies, where the design appears doubled, and transitional errors, where a coin may have been struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Each of these mistakes is rare, and rarity in the world of coins equals value. Collectors value the 2000 penny error not only because it is rare, but also because it represents a fascinating intersection of history, craftsmanship, and chance. When people think about minting coins, they often assume that everything is flawless, that modern technology prevents mistakes. But the truth is, the minting process is still subject to human and mechanical error, and when billions of coins are being made, a few mistakes will inevitably slip through. That's why an error penny from 2000 in excellent condition is so extraordinary. It survived the minting process, escaped detection, entered circulation, and managed to remain intact until someone spotted it. The thrill of discovery is another reason these coins capture so much attention. Think about the idea that a penny you receive as change could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. That thought alone has inspired countless people to look more closely at their coins. And it's not just professional collectors who find these rarities. Everyday people, completely unaware at first, have pulled 2000 penny errors from rolls of coins or change jars, only to later discover that they were holding something potentially worth $40,000 to $105,000. That kind of story keeps the hunt alive, and it's one of the reasons coin collecting remains so popular. When these coins make it to auction, the energy in the room is palpable. A simple 1-cent piece that should have no more value than its face becomes the focus of intense bidding wars. Collectors understand how rare these errors are, and when one comes up for sale in pristine condition, they know it could be years before another one surfaces. That's why the prices climb so high. The hammer drops, and suddenly a penny that cost almost nothing to make is valued at a staggering $105,000. The spectacle is a reminder of just how unpredictable and exciting the world of coins can be. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining value. A circulated 2000 penny error might still be worth thousands, but collectors and grading services place the highest premiums on coins in mint state condition. The difference between a coin that has been in pockets for years and one that has never been touched by human hands can mean tens of thousands of dollars in value. That's why collectors often send their finds to professional grading companies, which carefully evaluate and assign a grade that helps establish the coin's worth. A 2000 penny error graded highly can easily push into that upper range of $40,000 to $105,000. What makes the story even more compelling is that the 2000 penny isn't ancient. This isn't a coin that has been buried for centuries or locked away in a museum. It's modern. It's recent enough that many people alive today remember using it, saving it, or even dismissing it as insignificant. That's part of the magic, the idea that something so contemporary, something we may have overlooked without a second thought, could turn out to be extraordinary. Error coins like the 2000 penny also highlight how collecting isn't just about age or beauty. It's about uniqueness. A flawless coin is nice, but a coin with a mistake that makes it one of only a handful in existence is something far more compelling. Each error tells a story, and each one is a tangible piece of history. For collectors, owning such a coin isn't just about the money, it's about being the custodian of something rare and remarkable. The broader impact of coins like the 2000 penny error is that they remind us of the hidden value in the world around us. Too often, we overlook the little things, assuming they're ordinary. But in reality, sometimes those little things are treasures waiting to be discovered. A coin tossed into a drawer or forgotten in a piggy bank could turn out to be worth more than a car, or even a house. That realization sparks curiosity, and curiosity keeps people engaged in the hunt. For those who have found and sold 2000 penny errors, the experience is unforgettable. Stories circulate in the collecting community about lucky finds that changed lives. These are the tales that inspire others to keep searching, because if it happened once, it could happen again. And the more attention these coins receive, the more people start examining their change carefully, wondering if they might be next. The 2000 penny error is more than just a collectible. It's a symbol of possibility. It shows how something overlooked and underappreciated can suddenly become a centerpiece of attention and value. It proves that treasures aren't always hidden away in distant lands or locked inside safes. They can be right in our pockets. So the next time you come across a penny from the year 2000, don't dismiss it. Hold it up. Examine the details. Look at the spacing in the lettering, the alignment of the strike, or any unusual features. Because you never know. You might just be staring at one of the rare error pennies worth anywhere from $40,000 to $105,000. And if you are, then that little coin that once seemed worthless could be the most valuable thing you've ever held. The 2006 US 1-cent penny error is one of those rare pieces that has shaken the coin world, proving that even a coin barely 2 decades old can turn out to be worth a staggering fortune. And when I say fortune, I'm not exaggerating. Depending on the type of error and the coin's condition, some of these rare 2006 penny errors have sold for jaw-dropping amounts ranging from $34,000 to $90,000. Imagine turning a single cent into enough money to buy a luxury car, pay off a huge chunk of debt, or even put down a serious payment on a house. That's the magic of error coins. The first question people often ask is, how can such a modern coin be worth that much? After all, the US Mint has some of the most advanced technology in the world. Shouldn't errors be nearly impossible by now? The truth is that no minting process is flawless, and even with millions of coins produced each year, small mistakes happen. The rarity comes from the fact that these errors aren't widespread. Only a handful slip through quality control and make their way into circulation. That's why collectors prize them so highly. The 2006 penny error isn't valuable simply because of its age. It's valuable because of its uniqueness and scarcity. To really appreciate the 2006 penny error, you need to understand the design and context. By 2006, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for nearly a century. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design has remained largely the same, featuring Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse, still the Lincoln Memorial at that time, had been used since 1959. So in 2006, the design itself wasn't unusual. What makes certain coins from this year stand out are the flaws created during minting. These flaws could include double dies, where parts of the lettering or design appear duplicated, off-center strikes, where the design doesn't align correctly with the coin's surface, die cracks, which leave strange raised lines across the coin, or even coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the penny was mistakenly minted on a blank intended for another denomination. Each error type has its own story, and each one adds immense value. Collectors have reported 2006 pennies with striking anomalies. Some show clear doubling in the words, "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," giving Lincoln's profile a strange shadowed effect. Others reveal off-center strikes where part of the Lincoln Memorial is missing or distorted, almost as if the image was cut off mid-stamp. There are even accounts of pennies struck with partially missing designs due to grease-filled dies. Each of these quirks represents a one-of-a-kind mistake, and because so few were produced, the demand for them is sky-high. That's why the value climbs from an ordinary penny to between $34,000 and $90,000 at auctions. Think about that for a moment. You might have a 2006 penny sitting in a drawer right now, worth no more than its face value, yet someone else holding a rare error version of the same coin could sell it for tens of thousands. It's this possibility that excites treasure hunters and casual collectors alike. The idea that wealth might be hiding in plain sight makes every handful of change feel like an adventure. Auction houses and grading companies play a huge role in determining the value of these coins. When a 2006 penny error is discovered, the owner typically sends it to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC for authentication. These organizations inspect the coin, verify the error, assign a grade based on condition, and encapsulate it in a protective holder. The higher the grade, the sharper the details, and the more pristine the coin looks, the higher the value. A dramatic error in poor condition might still be valuable, but when you combine a rare error with a high-grade specimen, you get the kind of results that reach $90,000. Collectors aren't just chasing after these coins for their monetary value, either. Each error penny is like a story captured in metal. It tells us about the limitations of the minting process, the human and mechanical factors that allow mistakes to slip by, and the rarity of surviving examples. In many cases, error coins are scarcer than even some centuries-old coins because they weren't intentionally produced. Their existence is a matter of pure accident, and that makes them incredibly special. So, how can you spot a valuable 2006 penny error? The key is careful observation. Start by examining the lettering. If you see doubling, especially in the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, that's a strong sign. Next, look at Lincoln's portrait. Does it appear stretched, shadowed, or doubled? Turn to the reverse side and study the Lincoln Memorial closely. Are all the columns aligned, or do some appear faint, missing, or distorted? Also check the coin's edges and rim. Off-center strikes often leave part of the coin blank on one side and cramped on the other. Finally, hold the coin under good lighting and tilt it slowly. Errors like die cracks or weak strikes can appear as faint lines or unusual textures that are easy to miss at first glance. For anyone lucky enough to find a genuine 2006 error penny, the next step is to have it authenticated. Without professional certification, it's difficult to convince collectors or buyers of its true value. Once certified, however, the coin becomes a sought-after piece of numismatic history, capable of sparking bidding wars and commanding prices that most people wouldn't believe. That's how a coin originally worth just 1 cent ends up being valued between $34,000 and $90,000. The fascination with coins like this also reveals something deeper about human nature. We love the idea of hidden treasures. The thought that something as common and overlooked as a penny could be worth a life-changing sum plays into our desire for discovery, luck, and the thrill of the hunt. This is why people still search through jars of change, buy rolls of pennies from banks, or carefully inspect every coin that comes their way. They're not just looking for copper, they're chasing the possibility of finding a miracle. What makes the 2006 penny error particularly compelling is its accessibility. Unlike ancient coins or gold pieces locked away in museums, this is a modern coin, minted in huge numbers, and many are still in circulation today. That means the possibility of finding one isn't just a dream reserved for seasoned collectors. It's a very real chance for anyone. The next coin you find in your pocket could be the one that changes your financial future. And here's the incredible part. People have actually stumbled across these coins by accident. Stories have surfaced of individuals who discovered odd-looking pennies in their change, thought they might be special, and later realized they were holding thousands of dollars in their hands. Imagine the shock of discovering that a coin you nearly spent on a pack of gum was worth $50,000. These stories fuel the excitement around coin errors and remind us that extraordinary finds don't always require digging for buried treasure. They can be sitting in plain sight. The 2006 US 1 cent penny error is a perfect example of why coin collecting never loses its allure. It's a blend of history, chance, artistry, and rarity. For some, it represents an investment. For others, it's a passion. But for anyone who finds one, it's a life-changing opportunity. A single penny, meant to represent the lowest denomination in the US currency system, transforms into something priceless in its own way. And that transformation, from pocket change to $90,000 prize, is what keeps collectors searching tirelessly. So the next time you come across a penny from 2006, don't dismiss it as worthless. Take a closer look. Inspect every detail because you never know what mistake might be hiding there. And remember, those mistakes are exactly what could make that coin extraordinary. From $34,000 to $90,000, the potential is real, and the opportunity is closer than most people realize. That's the beauty of coin collecting, and it's why the story of the 2006 penny error continues to capture imaginations and inspire treasure hunters everywhere.